Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, August 23rd. Skipped yesterday. I felt cruddy. I'm sure partially because, I was exhausted from having just gotten back from vacation. But also, I'm guessing a while back I had that, is my waterbed leaking scare that turned out to be condensation. And so I corrected it with the proper mattress pad and blanket underneath. But I'm guessing it probably, maybe with the temperature changes that I let the place do while I was gone, I'm guessing it had some extra condensation and it had caused the mattress pad to mildew, which I'm allergic to. And then I slept on when I got home. Wasn't until I woke up feeling awful that I was like, hey, what's going on? Why does the place still have that stale smell? Oh, it's this. So I got that all fixed and cleaned up. I was able to work today, though I did take a little time off because just need to get stuff put away from vacation a bit. Most of it is now. Anyways, moving forward, feeling mostly better. I'm trying to figure out, well, what do I want to watch for movie day? And I'm at the point where I've watched enough of the movies on this shelf that I'm like, hey, Adam, if you would like to watch a movie on another shelf, you can. You'll easily be able to finish this up. You don't have to be so strict on this shelf. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's look at all the movies. And I'm like, oh, how did I make this decision before? Because there's so many choices. I don't know what to do. There are too many choices. So I actually decided that I was just going to avoid having that many choices and just choose one of the ones from this movie. I'm going to watch Evolution. See, Evolution is actually a movie that I've seen more recently than most of the other movies on that shelf. Because when I got the big fancy TV in the game room, and I was testing out, it has it's like a smart TV. So I was able to watch the stuff from Amazon Prime that was free, and Evolution was one of those movies. So I'd watched it then. Sort of. I'd watched it while, if I remember correctly, sorting through Magic cards. So I wasn't paying the most attention. But, should be funny. Relax and watch a movie. Evolution. And Evolution's alright. I would give it 6.7 out of 10 from the back of the box. The maker of Ghostbusters and Road Trip gives you a hilarious look at life on Earth and joins forces with the biggest stars in the universe. Really? David Duchovny, The X-Files. Orlando Jones, The Replacements. Sean William Scott, American Pie. And Academy Award nominee Julianne Moore, Hannibal. Make a discovery of alien life forms that could change the world. But when the aliens try to take over the planet, our four stellar heroes rocket into action to save us. The laughter hits you at the speed of light in the comedy about heavenly bodies, mutual attraction, and close encounters. It's alright. It's got some childish comedy. Comedy's a bit childish. So they have some cool puppets for some of the aliens, and even costumes eventually. I mean, it's, when was this? Is it 2001 maybe? And it has, the CG graphics are of their time. You can definitely, pick them out. But yeah, it's a bit funny, interesting. They spend a lot of time on the idea of the science behind what's going on, which, okay, fine. I mean, it's a story about quite a few scientists, so that makes sense. Except at the end, when they look at the periodic table and they're like, Here, this should work. Instead of, like, getting their selenium, their Head and Shoulders, and be like, hey, let's get a bottle of that and pour it on this creature that we just grew because we were in fire, will cause them to evolve more rapidly. Instead of doing any of that, they just, like, alright, let's fill up the fire truck with it and hope it works. And I'm like, ooh, okay, that was definitely a beat that could have been solved really quick. Just with the characters in that very scene. You know, have one of them have their back pocket Head and Shoulders. Why not? And try it. And just be like, okay, so this is going to lead us somewhere. Instead, they're putting a lot on the line for something that they haven't tested, and they're all supposed to be scientists. I don't know. Because it basically came down to, after all this science, it's, let's go on a hunch. But, lots of, you know, whatever, scientists versus government, and, oh, the government's evil and trying to manipulate the situation, and etc. kind of story, which, you know, easy enough. It does well. It gives me some ideas, like, because I've had games where the players are playing, like, this group of what is essentially working as vigilante kind of thing. And a lot of times, you know, there's the struggle with the, why don't we call the proper authorities on this? But this one gives a good sense of the issue that could happen, like, oh, well, let's get the proper authorities involved, and then, like, nothing is happening because bureaucracy. And that would motivate moving forward. So I like that. It's as far as, like, a D&D inspiration. You know, when I watch a movie, I always think about things like that. But, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, it's its own movie. It does at least do the job of telling a self-contained story, which, you know, isn't reliant on, like, sequels and all that. But I mean, if I'm completely honest, I love the sequels. I like those movies. The fact that this is all self-contained and has nothing else outside of it doesn't help it in my rankings. But it is at least, you know, a noteworthy thing about the movie, because, you know, there aren't a huge number of movies that do that. Feels at least relatively original story. But yeah, lots of cheap comedy. But it is what it is, eh? I did chuckle. So, they may have been cheap laughs, but they were laughs. I'll give them that. But the biggest stars in the universe, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I suppose Julianne Moore is, at least at the time, up there, but... And, I mean, they're definitely, like, recognizable individuals. You know, they're recognizable actors. But it wasn't like they were going with the top names. They did good. Nothing against it. But it's just whoever wrote the copy on the back of the box, I'm like, bit of a stretch. Anyways, I'm gonna keep tidying some things up around here, unpacking whatever, try and do what I can for that, relax. Get plenty of rest if I can, because I'm still not caught up from vacation. Is what it is. But I'll call it a night here. Thank you for joining me, and joining me as my journey continues.